Penuel Chapel is known as a place where the kingdom of God came to earth. This was especially so at the end of the 19th century, when miracles and supernatural manifestations were said to have been performed here under Reverend W.S. Jones. A man who had received divine healing after experiencing a baptism of power, he oversaw the Baptist congregation here at Penuel until 1904, by which time the congregation abstained from and regarded with disdain medicine and surgery because of all of the miracles that they had witnessed taking place in this very building. According to reports, they had received signs of blessings. The Holy Spirit itself was said to have come down here and faith healed through Reverend W.S. Jones and others. Because of this, when this building came for sale recently, I knew I had to buy it. And so, my name is Laura, and welcome to Penuel Chapel, the home of Rowton's Museum. Today marks 9 years of the Paranormal Scholar, but my relationship with the paranormal is much longer and much broader. For those of you who've watched my documentary film, In Search of the Dead, you'll know that I've been having paranormal experiences since I was a child. Outside of this channel, I've also been doing research and hands-on investigations and other aspects involving the paranormal for many years. And part of that has been collecting artifacts, both historically significant and those with stories of their own to tell. For many years, I've wanted to open a place, a safe place for the paranormal, where these items can be put on display and you can come and interact with them. This is a very large building. The chapel itself was built to accommodate 800 seated worshippers, as well as there being space for those who wish to stand. We also have a schoolroom, a basement, other rooms, and a graveyard. A graveyard which hasn't had a new grave added to it for at least 150 years. So there's lots that we want to do here. Eric and I have big plans. So I guess the first place to start is by giving you a tour of this wonderful, incredible building. So we're exiting the chapel into the front lobby here. You'll see all around the building we've started to move some of our things in. Nothing is set up properly yet, but we've put out a few things all around the place to give you an idea of the sorts of things that we might be displaying here. So because we're in the chapel part of the building, I have here, for example, a little relic, some seashells from the Sea of Galilee from the early 20th century. So there's things we can talk about along the way, but of course there's much work to be done. So the entrance lobby here, in addition to having this beautiful stained glass, has 2 staircases up to the balcony. So come with me now. On an evening as the sun sets, these balconies, the light, the dimming light through the big windows, it's beautiful and quite atmospheric. You truly can believe the history of this building and all of the things that it may have seen over the course of its time being a place of worship. There's something quite incredible about being in a building like this with it just you or Eric behind the camera as well. And that's the sense that we want to give people. Even though we're in the middle of Carmarthen, a busy town in Wales, if you're just quiet for a second, you can't hear anything. This place it has an atmosphere all of its own that I absolutely love. In addition to showcasing artifacts of paranormal and spiritual significance, largely in other rooms within the building, which I'll take you to in a moment, we also want to put on events, tours, workshops, and nighttime investigations here at Penuel. I very much feel like the last 9 years of doing the Paranormal Scholar and other work outside of the channel has been an education for me, so much so that I now feel like I want to share that knowledge onwards and invite people here to have an experience of something inexplicable, if that's possible, and also educate people in person further about the nature of the unseen from what I and Eric have learned over the years. whether that be giving you a tour of the artifacts here on display or taking you round on an investigation, introducing you to the concept of a séance for those of you who haven't done it, exploring extrasensory perception, remote viewing, mediumship. Can you imagine being part of a vigil here? A small group of people in the dark in this chapel. I can't wait to do that and to see if it's possible to recreate the manifestations and other supernatural phenomena said to have happened here in the early 1900s. One thing that we have no shortage of here at Penuel are creepy staircases, and this is one of the creepier ones. And I will tell you a reason why it's one of the creepier ones, because the corridor which it leads out onto, Eric and I have both already seen and experienced things in this corridor, and we've only been here a few days. So, spooky goings on, although we might be to blame for some of it because we've already started moving in some of our items, including in here, the vestry, which will be our secret society room. This here is a ceremonial outfit dating from around 1890. It's an Oddfellows herald outfit, and it's come from the USA, from Maine, and a lodge in Winterport. Absolutely beautiful. And one of the things that Eric saw, which looked like a shadowy figure, did appear to be on the threshold of this doorway, as if moving towards this. So it's been in storage for a while, so there's not much I can really say as to whether or not this item itself has something attached to it or whatever it may be, but I don't know, there's been spooky goings on already, so that's very interesting. Although that's of course not the main reason why we have this here. This room, as I said, will be dedicated to secret societies and their search for spiritual enlightenment and knowledge. Freemasons and what they think and what they believe. So lots of plans, lots of artifacts. These are just a few that I've just pulled out for the sake of giving you this tour that we really want to showcase and have you come here and experience it for yourself. So moving on from the vestry and the chapel portion of the building, we return to the main corridor into the schoolroom portion of the museum. So we're now in Penuel Schoolroom, a place which has hosted all sorts, from temperance society meetings to controversial lectures on phrenology. At the moment, there's not much in here because it is such a huge space, but we've set up a corner here to just show again some of the items that we intend to put on display as part of the museum. So everything from antique and vintage spirit boards like this Haskellite one from the 1940s, through to mourning items. So this is a Victorian summer bonnet that would have been worn by a lady when she went into mourning, and it dates to about 1870. And this has been in our possession for a little while now, and it is one of the artifacts that we own that we would say is a little bit mysterious. I shall leave it at that. There's a lot more to investigate from my perspective about this item, but we have had strangeness connected to it. So we have many items that we're going to put on display to do with mourning in the Victorian period. I think it's fascinating to think about our relationship with death, particularly in the heyday of spiritualism. We're interrupted here by an anomalous sound. with death, particularly in the heyday of spiritualism. With origin uncertain, I pick up where I left off. When you had people like the Fox sisters and others introducing the concept of a seance to a broader audience, people would get together in order to commune or attempt to commune with their loved ones. It was a society that in a way was obsessed with death, obsessed with what happens to us after we die, and it's reflected even in the items of clothing that people would wear. If you're a member of our Quill and Ink Society, either on YouTube or through Patreon, you need to go and watch the special unboxing video after this. So some of the items that we have here are still in their packaging. We haven't opened this one yet. So I'm going to be unboxing this later for a member exclusive video. So join me for a first look at a very special and quite possibly quite eerie artifact. So there's more still to see. This building keeps on giving. And the next stop on our tour is this room. Now we have special plans for it here, because we would like to turn it into the Paranormal Scholar's laboratory, where we research things like extrasensory perception, whether that be through remote viewing and things like Xenocards, or Estes method sessions, in which we attempt to communicate with spirits of the dead or other ethereal beings. Now there's a fantastic space up these stairs. There's a lot of work to be done to get it how we would like it, but if I can ask you to use your imagination and imagine it, if you will, as a Victorian seance room. I want to say that I know this room can have a creepy Victoriana atmosphere, but you know what? I think it already does have a creepy atmosphere, but more in a creepy clown sort of way because of the color scheme. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
So there are 2 more locations on our tour, and I've saved them to last because they increase in difficulty, and one of them is the graveyard, which in its current state is very overgrown, and the other, the basement, which is overgrown in another way, with spiders and cobwebs. So down this rather innocuous thin passageway is the door that leads to our basement. And I'll admit, it's not really somewhere I want to go down right now. But yes, for 2 reasons, don't want to go down there, because it is tremendously filled with cobwebs, and also for some reason smells of sulfur right now. So I think that's a job for you, Eric.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Can you go down there at all?
So many cobwebs here, I need to really get the hoover down.
Can you not just go down the stairs?
Oh, Jesus!
Whoa!
Okay, my camera's possessed, so I've gotta go.
What happened?
I don't know.
Well, just leave it like that. Let me grab something.
And flipped it around.
Why is the camera upside down?
I have no idea. I was just trying to film the spooky basement and it just flipped around. And
okay.
It's not something I can easily do. It's quite a heavy camera.
So on the gimbal, it flipped. The mechanics flipped?
I don't know.
Let me look down there. Let me know.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah. I'm just filming on the phone right now. I'm wearing white. What am I doing?
It was when I was trying to get down into the actual room itself.
Oh, what?
Still filming. Oh, that's bizarre.
You ready to go down there after that?
I'm very excited to go down there.
We have the Hoover ready, so...
This is the reason we bought this place. To go down into the basement.
Forbidden places inside of historic chapels.
Yeah, I remember, what was it the estate agent said when we found the basement, because nobody wanted to mention it. He was like, oh, I bet there's some stories down there. Like, he was really shifty looking in the corner saying that. Oh.
Why? Why? It's a chapel basement. What possibly could have gone wrong down there?
Yeah,
well, off you go then.
Yep. All right. I feel legitimately creeped out looking down there.
Have a look. And for those of you who perhaps don't know about my childhood bedroom was actually in a basement, so I'm oddly comfortable. Not really, my basement didn't have this many spiders, dear me. It had spiders, but not this many.
Alright, here we go, Dom.
Let me get in.
What is this? Yeah, this is really weird. Do you want to give me the camera? Show around?
Old bits of pew in there. More old pew. What's all this? Is that chain?
That's a lot of chain, yeah. What are your impressions?
Well, I was just looking, that's where the coal would have come in for all the original fireplaces.
I feel a little bit sick down here. Is it?
It smells bad.
Yeah. Are you satisfied with the basement?
It's horrible down here. For many reasons.
Got any spooky vibes?
Have you seen it? How can you not? There you go, our first time in the basement of Penure Chapel. Now let's go up.
Yes. Let's go up.
So through this door is our graveyard. Admittedly, it doesn't look like a graveyard right now, but I assure you it is. It's just tremendously overgrown, with some of the headstones closer to the front actually having fallen over and been removed and put to one side for now. So if you follow me. You'll see that we have quite a collection of headstones here, and it's our intention, once we've cleaned up the main area, to restore them, not necessarily to where they would have stood, because I don't know how we're going to reunite them with the graves, but at least to showcase them and display them. So these headstones are very, very old. We have one here for John Davis, who died 1875. There's another one down there from the 1840s. Really a lot of history connected to this chapel here. And it's sad to see them like this. We really want to clean them up, clean the grounds up, and put them back to restore dignity to here. So if you follow me, I'll show you a little bit more of what we have to deal with. Nature that we have to contend with here, very overgrown with brambles. But we are walking on graves right now. This entire area would have contained those headstones, and there's even more headstones here as well that have been moved to the side. So we have an 1876, another 1870s, 1832, I believe that one says, and they continue on and on and on. Some are still in the ground, but you will have to fight the weeds to get to them. I just remembered another story from the graveyard. When we first came to view this property, looking to purchase it, I was taking lots and lots of photographs, in order to get a sense of this place for after we left. And I was taking some of all the overgrowth in the graveyard, and my phone actually temporarily malfunctioned in the middle of taking a photograph looking back towards the building. So the screen went black and it froze and all of that. And it actually took 2 photographs. One, as the image should have been, in daylight, and the other one, it looked as though it were nighttime. But it wasn't, so the whole image was black, but you could still see the same features of the building, and after a moment the phone started working again. But that was when we viewed the place, so it was quite strange to have that happen in the graveyard, that very first moment, and it certainly made Eric and I want to buy the building all the more. And that concludes our walkthrough. You've seen it all as it is now in this... Well, I really hate to interrupt my own sign-off, but did you hear that? Did you hear that sound on the audio? I'll play it again. And that concludes our walkthrough. You've seen it all as it is now in this... Seen it all as it is now in this... Truly, there is something about that corridor. Let me know in the comments what you think. And that concludes our walkthrough. You've seen it all as it is now in this present moment before we really get stuck in transforming this wonderful historic building into our museum. Rowton's Museum of the Paranormal and Spirituality. There will be many more updates, so please do go ahead and continue following, watching our videos as you always do. Also, go and check out our new social media pages on Instagram and Facebook under Rowton's Museum. I will include links below. And if you haven't yet already subscribed to my second channel, Laura Rowton, there will also be more content going on there filmed at this location, including investigations, a nighttime investigation coming very shortly. Members here on YouTube and on Patreon, you can also expect to get many more member exclusive videos, including one available right now of an unboxing of a new artifact. So please do go ahead and watch that. We really appreciate the support that you give to this channel, the videos we make, and now this incredible building and our museum project. We hope to be welcoming people here soon. If you are interested, perhaps you're a paranormal investigative group and you're interested in coming here, spending the night here, getting up to all sorts of things, go and visit our website, send us an email, contact us. We'd love to have you here and hope to see you soon. Thank you so much. Until next time.